Hello, Mark Debeljak from Rubik's Business Accountants. I'm joined by my business partner, Stuart, Coulthard.
G'day.
To talk about the 2023 federal budget.
What a night, eh?
Yeah, well, there was really no surprises, was there? It's the first surplus in 15 years, so that's something good. $4 billion, which is going to be great for the economy. Surging tax receipts and mineral royalties have basically paid for that.
Yes, but what we really want to talk about today is how the budget's going to affect our clients as a whole. So we mainly look after small to medium-sized businesses, as well as high net wealth individuals and self-managed super funds. So we want to touch on a few things about what's going on in there. I guess the point that I've got is that 99% of all small to medium-sized businesses make up all businesses within Australia. So it's a massive pool that actually employs people. And small to medium-sized businesses make up half the Australian GDP. So it makes it, there's a big impact. So the first measure that was announced yesterday, no in particular order here, but the first one I wanted to touch on was called the Small Business Energy Incentive, which is it's a 20% extra tax deduction bonus if you actually make your business more efficient. So there's a maximum of $20,000 bonus in addition that's actually eligible. Again, a lot of these rules that we're touching on today are only announcements, they're not in law, so we need to make that point. And also, there's not a huge amount of detail, so the detail is coming. The other one that was announced was called the instant asset write-off, which is a $20,000 instant asset. This is not to be confused with a temporary full expensing one, which was the $150,000. That actually finishes at 30th of June this financial year. So the one that we're talking about here is the instant asset. So that starts 1 July 2023. So if you buy an asset that's worth less than $20,000, you can make a full tax deduction, assuming you're a business. Also another one, which is meant to help out small business cash flow, is called the cash flow relief. This is where they're actually varying down the normal uplift in PAYG instalments as well as GST. So you're not having to pay a higher amount of PAYG along the way. So that will help out small business cash flow. Mark?
I thought I'd touch on a couple of super changes. Probably the big one that's been announced quite early is this $3 million account balance and being taxed at anything above that, 30% on income. At the moment, 15% tax is what's paid on all superannuation. So that's a really big change. But obviously you need to have an individual account balance above $3 million for this too.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Wouldn't that be great? It'd be fantastic. And it applies from the 1st of July 2025. So we've got a bit over 15 months or so.
It's been brought forward, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been brought forward by a year. It was originally supposed to be 2026. The other interesting one is that the government want to make employers pay superannuation where they make a payment to their employees. So the same day that they make the payment of wages to their employees, they will be looking to also have the super paid that day. And that is due to start on the 1st of July 2026. So there's really no surprises there, Stuart, is there?
No surprises there. Probably I need to touch on as well is that they are introducing a range of programs to help lift the burden for small businesses and actually dealing with taxes, which was not great news for us because we want people dealing with us. But really, you don't want small businesses bogged down in actually all the paperwork and actually worrying about the administration affairs. They need to be worrying about their actual businesses. Also, I wanted to touch on things that were previously announced last federal budget that are still in the process of being given the royal assent. So they're in front of the Senate now and they will hopefully get through. So these are the skill and training boost, where there's an extra 20% deduction if you spend on eligible expenditure in relation to training. So that hasn't been given the tick of approval yet. That was announced last year, as well as the technology investment boost. So this is again another 20% deduction if you spend on relevant or eligible expenditure in relation to digitising your operation. So again, that was announced last year. It's not ticked across yet. So that's it. Anything else?
Yeah, I've got a few things. A few more things for business. There's a small business energy relief. If you're lucky enough to live in New South Wales, it's $650. If you're lucky enough to live in Victoria, it's $325. Not sure what the difference is. I'm pretty sure our power bills are pretty similar, but that's something. There's also an interesting one, a cyber security fund. The government are putting $23 million out over 3 years to train small business cyber wardens. Obviously, that's been on the front pages of the newspaper with all the data security hacks. So they're giving the opportunity for about 15,000 small businesses to train a small business cyber warden. Also, there's the Industry Growth Fund. This is huge. This is $392 million over 4 years, and then about $80 million a year after that to help startups. This is to help commercialise big ideas. So that's it from me. That's what I have.
So that's pretty much what we think will actually impact our clients. We will be putting out an email to our clients with a little bit more detail around this. So please look out in the ether, as well as if you like this video, you like this sort of content, please give us a like and also follow our YouTube channel.
And if you've got any questions for us, why don't you give us a call?
That's a good idea. Thank you. Catch up.
Thank you.